Hello everyone and welcome back to Two Tickets Please. Today's video is a bit different than usual because we're going to be doing a couple of comparison videos. As you can see, we have tried out quite a couple of train companies and also airlines. And in today's comparison video, we're going to be comparing Iryo and Renfe.
In this comparison video, it's very important to outline the fact that one company's pros is not the other company's cons. So when we talk about the benefits of a specific, like Renfe, that is not going to be something bad from Iryo. If something is good in Renfe, it's going to be specifically good for Renfe, and we would like you to note those benefits. If something is negative in Iryo, it's exclusively for Iryo. We're going to try and minimize the overlap, so this is the best pros and cons you can find.
Okay, so I'm going to be going over the pros and cons of Iryo, and
I'll be doing the pros and cons on Renfe. Not all of these pros are weighed evenly. Some of these pros might be for people who travel more often compared to people that are just trying it out for the first time. But one of the biggest pros that Renfe has is that you can validate your credit card with a phone. This doesn't happen in Iryo. So basically you go to Renfe, you go to the station and you say, okay, this is my credit card, this is my ID, and this is my identification, either phone number or email. And then when you make a phone purchase, they ask you for your email and the last 4 digits of your card, and you can buy over the phone. The second biggest pro is the big cafeteria. So obviously the cafeteria in Iryo is great, but what you sometimes want to do is walk around. It is only 2.5 hours, but you might not want to be sitting for that long. The Iryo cafeteria is minuscule and you can't stand around, but the Renfe cafeteria has a lot of space. It even has some stools for you to sit. Maybe you want to stand next to the window, take some pictures or some videos. And there's much more of an ambience to it. The third big pro is the connectivity that Renfe offers, not just with high-speed trains, but also with like media distancia. So you could go to Valencia much more easily, you could go to Santiago de Compostela, and all of that falls under the Renfe category, including their point system, so you can accumulate points, whereas Iryo only has very specific and high demand routes. Fourthly, the schedules. Renfe has trains going in and out for the entirety of the day. So if you have to go early in the morning, halfway through the afternoon or whatever, there's always going to be a train leaving. This unfortunately is not the case with Iryo, where you have about 2 or 3 trains a day, and they're usually scheduled when one gets to the destination, then it'll leave. So you might not always have a train that leaves early in the morning from a specific destination because it, for example, has to go from Malaga to Madrid and then it'll leave there. So Malaga will leave at like 6 and then they'll leave Madrid at like 8. And finally, reservations. Making a reservation with Renfe is very, very easy. You do it on the phone, they just put your phone number down and they send you a message, and it is held up for up to 3 days. Phone purchases and reservations with Renfe are so easy. Now on to the cons. Now, as stated earlier, the pros from Iryo are exclusively there, so these are the negative parts of Renfe. First of all, the first clause is kind of annoying. They do interrupt you for everything. They give you the little towels and then they interrupt you again to take them away. And then they give you the food, they take it away, they give you a newspaper. So they do stop you quite often. So if you're watching a movie or you're trying to relax, if you fall asleep, you won't enjoy all the benefits, which are quite a few. But then if you're trying to watch a movie, they'll interrupt you more often than not. And then you can't really do work or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Secondly, the poorly displayed benefits. Iryo just shook everything up and they started doing these great cashbacks and these fabulous things, but it's very easily displayed. And then you can take advantage of all of them very easily. Which, by the way, if you want to take advantage of all of the benefits from Iryo, there is a little short that you can watch in which explain the difference between Infinity, Infinity Bistro, Infinity Open, and everything. But the benefits for Renfe are kinda hidden. It kinda seems like the terms and conditions that you need to accept. You need to scroll all the way down after you've booked your seat and everything, and then they tell you, okay, so do you want to pay $5 to get a 90% refund? But it's kind of hidden. Whereas with Iryo, it's like boom, in your face. And finally, if you're doing stuff over the phone with Renfe, there might be an issue when it comes to changing your reservation. This has happened to me many times. I've purchased with Renfe before Iryo came along so much over the phone. And if you book a ticket with, for example, a seat selection and then you want to change your ticket, the changing process is extremely complex and you have to go to the station to do most of the things. The queues are massive. They do help you, but sometimes the solution is that they'll give you a one-off ticket and you can't change again or whatever. So you just spent $5 to choose a ticket and now it's giving you more problems than it is solutions. So most of the issues require that you go to the station. If you're not anywhere close to the station or you buy it from afar, it can bring a lot of issues.
And now let's go over the pros and cons of taking Iryo. So Iryo is definitely shaking things up. They are a new Italian company that is definitely making waves in Spain and causing the monopoly, which was Renfe, to make quite a lot of their own changes to their own prices and schedules. So we're going to go over the long list of pros that Iryo has, but also they've got some cons. So let's go over those. So one of the biggest pros is that they have something called Iryo Club, which is where you can collect points and cash back. They make this very easily accessible and very obvious as well when you're booking tickets. And if you didn't make use of it before you knew about it and you took Iryo before, you can actually add those as well. So any trips that you've made on Iryo, even if you didn't necessarily press the button to collect the points, you can still add them to your Iryo Club card. If you'd like to watch a video exactly on how to use Iryo Club and what exactly are the benefits and how to use it, we have a short which you can click on up here. The next pro is that they're definitely a pioneer when it comes to refunding. So they make it extremely easy and very obvious for people to know exactly how much they can get back and what is included in the ticket that they're buying. Therefore, if you have accidentally purchased a ticket on the wrong date, or if you would like to change the name on the ticket as well, they definitely have a lot of different options for refunding. And even if you don't necessarily purchase a much more expensive ticket in order to include certain benefits, you can still get quite a hefty refund if you're no longer going to be using the ticket, or even if you miss your train. One of the other big pros is that the prices are just a lot cheaper. Now, this doesn't mean that it's always going to be super cheap in comparison to Renfe, or that on certain public holidays or on the weekends it's also going to be super cheap, but they do have a lot of differences. So if you're booking during the week where not a lot of people go, the prices are a lot cheaper, and they also have a lot of different variations where you can get a ticket from as cheap as 18 euros for basic class and 30 euros for the first class. Whereas when it comes to Renfe, they do still have fluctuating prices, but the cheapest you're going to get a ticket with them is going to be 50 to 60 euros. Another pro is that there are shorter phone waiting times. So if you have to call them in order to change your seat or to change something on your ticket or to find out any information, you don't have to wait that long in order to actually get some help. Now, this is definitely something that is a big issue when it comes to Renfe, is that it's not very easy to always get hold of them, and you also have to dial a lot of different numbers to get the specific person that can help you. Whereas with Iryo, it's very easy to get help, and on top of that, they also have an English helpline, so if you don't speak Spanish, you can still get help very easily. Then another thing is that it's a newer train and they have newer cabins, and it's got a very nice sleek design. The colors that they use definitely imitate opulence with the sleek leather light tan seats and the very small hints of red, and even down to the music that they use makes everything seem very calm and also luxurious. With Renfe, the trains are a bit older, and it's not that they don't look as nice, they're just a little bit more retro. So on the train with Iryo, you'll definitely be able to see that it is a newer train, and a lot of people always like that. So the food on Iryo is just amazing. So if you have the chance to go to their cafeteria and buy food over there, or if you purchase a meal on the first class, you'll definitely be able to experience just how good the food is. It's definitely top notch, and it doesn't feel like it's just something that's been heated up and given to you. But with that long list of pros, we also have to go to the list of cons. So the first one, and this is something that is probably the biggest con to me personally, is that it's extremely bumpy. Now this might change over the next couple years as it stabilizes, as because it's a new train, it's going to be a lot more bumpy. But I'm someone that gets extremely motion sick, so it definitely affects me a lot more. However, even with other people that go on it and they're not motion sick, they don't usually get motion sick at all, they still feel a bit nauseous on the train. And that's definitely a big con if you're taking a train specifically because you want access to Wi-Fi, you want to be able to work, you want to be able to read a book or watch a movie. And if you feel so nauseous that you can't do anything, then that's definitely a big con. I know it's going to change over the next couple of years, but that's something to keep in mind. Maybe you want to take some motion sickness tablets. Another big con comes with their food. They might change your food options. So this happens in the first class, and it's happened to us as well, where we chose a certain meal. You get an option, 3 or 4 options, and we chose the chicken meal, and they changed it to carriada, which is a pork dish. And usually it's not such a big deal. We still liked the food and it was great. But if they had changed it to fish, for example, I wouldn't be able to eat it since I'm allergic to fish. And I think that's something to keep in mind, that while changing a meal might not be such a big deal to the company, it is a big deal for a lot of people, because you don't know if they're choosing that meal because they have an allergy to the other meals, or if they're a pescatarian and they don't eat red meat. The other con is that there really is just too many options, and this might be a pro for a lot of people, but if you're new to using Iryo and you don't know exactly what are the benefits of all the different classes and what's included in them, while they do make a very good job of showing you everything that's included, you might be a bit confused between the 3 different classes and then within the first class, the 3 different options that you have there. So we do have a video where we go over that. But I definitely think that that's a bit of a con, and I do hope that this will be simplified and much more easily explained to people that are booking the tickets. And that brings us to another big con, which is that they don't offer a lot of services that you can choose while you are booking your ticket. So if, for example, you want to have a seat selected and you want to choose your own seat, they don't have seat selection or manual seat selection. You have to call them after getting a randomly assigned seat and ask them to change your seat. I think that would probably be the biggest change that they could make, is to offer that seat selection. And then also, if you want to change a meal, if you want to bring a pet, if you want to add anything, you can't do it to your own ticket. You have to call them and ask them to help you. So one of the disadvantages that Iryo doesn't have this, but Renfe does have this. Renfe has a little mini map when you are booking seats, so you can see exactly in which direction your seat is facing, and you can see exactly where you are booking. We really do hope that you enjoyed this advantages and disadvantages list between these 2 major train companies in Spain. Even if this is your first time traveling, or if you're a well-seasoned traveler, we hope that this can help you make a smarter choice and help you save money and enjoy your ride. Yes.
Please make sure to like and subscribe, and if you want to watch more videos about trains or planes, the channel is down here, and if you want to watch any of the shorts that explain the benefits that you can get from Iryo, it's right up there.